Today I'm going to show you how to make these adorable heart keychains since it is February after all and Valentine's Day is coming quick. So grab your 4mm crochet hook and let's get started. Begin by making a magic ring. So make an X with your fingers and chain one. There's our ring, and now you're going to single crochet 4 times inside the ring. Next, you're going to go into your single crochet and do 2 single crochets. So you're going to increase all the way around for a total of 8 single crochets. Round 3, you're going to increase or do 2 single crochets in the first stitch and then single crochet, 1 single crochet in the next stitch. So increase single crochet all the way around for a total of 12 single crochets. For round 4, you're just going to single crochet all the way around, 1 in each stitch, and you'll end up with a total of 12 single crochets. So next you're just going to slip stitch into your next single crochet, and then pull your yarn and cut it. So what we've made here is the top of our heart. So this section, then we're gonna do the exact same thing to make the other peak of our heart, and then we connect them. So I just repeated the exact same pattern and made a second peak of my heart, but instead of slip stitching into my next stitch, I'm actually going to slip stitch into my other part of the heart. So you're going to go across from where the other slip stitch is, and you're going to stick your hook up through the V. Then you're going to pull your yarn through that stitch as well as your other ring. Oops, like that. And now you're just going to continue along up there, single crocheting. So you're going to do 1 single crochet all the way around until you get to over there. So you should end up with 12 single crochets. Now, when you get close to where this string is, you have to be careful so you'll notice that you want to go into the slip stitch, so into this V here, that's where I'm gonna go, okay? And then I'm gonna pull this string tight, and notice that this V there, that is where the slip stitch is going through. So I'm not gonna go in there because that would make me have an extra stitch. Instead, I'm just gonna continue along, and I'm actually gonna work on top of this string. Okay? All the way till I get back to the beginning. Now, once you've gone on top of the string for maybe 2 or 3 stitches, then you don't have to continue, but it just prevents it from not coming apart. Okay, so as you can see, I have 2 more stitches left of this part of the heart, this side. And now I have to connect them. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to go underneath this one, so underneath a piece from here. Let's grab there we go. And next I'm gonna go underneath this first V of the other ring. So this is the hard part. Okay, and now I'm going to go through all 3 loops. This is sort of like connecting them from the other side. So that's 1 single crochet. Now I'm going to continue. 2, 3, and you want to continue all the way along until you get over to this side, and then you should have 12 more single crochets, or in total 24 for this entire round. Okay. Next, we want our heart to go inwards towards a point. So what I'm going to do is pick up half a V, and then I'm going to pick up another half. Now, you'll notice here that I'm actually going to skip 1. The reason for that is because one of those V's was from the slip stitch which connected the 2 together, and that would add an additional stitch, and I don't want that. So that's 1 decrease. Then I'm going to do 4 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I'm going to repeat that. I'm going to decrease. This time the decrease is going to be at the side of the heart. So decrease, and then I'm going to again do 4 single crochets, and that'll get me to the middle of the heart again. And then I'm going to decrease, do 4 single crochets, and by the time you get back to your starting spot, you should have 20 single crochets. So in the next round, I'm going to start with a decrease, and then I'm going to do 3 single crochets. And then I'm going to repeat that. Again, do a decrease, and this time it's at the side of the heart. And then 3 single crochets. Repeating this all the way around, you should end up with 16 single crochets. Next, you're going to decrease and do 2 single crochets. You should end up with a total of 12 stitches after this round. Next, you're going to do 1 single crochet in each stitch all the way around, no decreases, for a total of 12 single crochets. Now, before this point gets too small, we're going to stuff our little keychain. Won't use much stuffing because it is very small. To begin our second last round, we're going to decrease and then single crochet. Continue this pattern and you will end up with 8 stitches. For your final round, decrease all the way around. So that'll be a total of 4 decreases, which will leave you with 4 single crochets. Next, cut a really long piece of string because you want to have enough wool to make a keychain with that same piece. So to sew the hole closed, go under the outer V, the outer part of the V, of each of the 4 stitches. Okay. Oops. Now that I've gone under each of the pieces, I'm going to pull closed. And now there's no hole in the bottom. Then what I'm gonna do is poke my needle in through that center and poke it out to either side or either tip of the heart. And you're gonna poke it through the ring where we started. So there should be a little hole perfect size for your needle to poke through. And now what you're gonna do is put your needle through, notice the first round, like I see a little circle. I'm gonna put it right there, so one stitch over, and poke it through the middle again. And now, before I pull my hole closed, I'm gonna stick my crochet hook in there. And now there's a perfect spot for me to make my key ring. So now I'm going to chain 20. So I just chained 20, and now I'm going to pull my hook out, string it on my needle again, and now, without twisting it, I'm going to stitch this together. So what I'm going to do is poke my needle through the first single crochet where I started, and notice that makes a ring. Now to secure my yarn, I want to go into my actual heart, poke it through. There we go. Now before you cut your wool, just go through a piece of each, so maybe part of a V there and part of a V from both sides, and I'm just gonna work my hook through that and then go again into my base. So once you've secured your ring, just poke your yarn in to a random spot in your heart. And just to be safe, poke it through to another spot in your heart. There we go. And then cut your yarn. And your heart keychain is done. I hope you were able to follow along and successfully make one of these heart keychains for Valentine's Day. I'm looking forward to using it on my purse as soon as I get out of the hospital.